Hello everyone and welcome to Crypto Atlas. Yes, my name has crypto in it, but I do cover AMC stock as well. I've got a series of videos on this. I'm a huge supporter of this movement, guys. So if you're new to the channel, feel free to hit subscribe. Hit the thumbs up like button. It definitely helps us out with the YouTube search algorithm, and feel free to share this video on social media if you think other people will find this to be helpful as well. Please keep in mind, I am not a financial advisor. Everything I'm sharing is my own opinion. It's my own research, and I encourage you guys to do your own research as well. So before I go into reading this article, let's go ahead and take a quick look at the charts here, because there's some interesting things that I do want to definitely point out for you guys. Taking a look at this on the daily, we can see that the level of volume down here in the bottom has increased. So we've been seeing progressively the price dropping down as well as volume dropping down. And when both of these happen at the same time, this is a bullish indicator. So we've been actually working inside of a symmetrical triangle pattern leading all the way up until July 2nd, where we were waiting to see what direction was it going to take. The signs were indicating we're more likely to go up than down, but we know that the hedge funds and these other institutional investors and people doing these shenanigans, they're going to do shenanigans, right? And so lo and behold, we saw the price end up starting to dip down. Some FUD articles coming out, people trying to speculate on things. And take a look at this. The next day, it bounced right off of the Fibonacci sequence here on the 0.382. I've had this Fibonacci sequence up here, and you can check my previous videos. It's been established now for a decent amount of time. So it's a very reliable based indicator that I'm using. And what we ended up seeing was a second day indicating now a trend position, suggesting, okay, we're now more likely to have a further correction going down than for it to go up. A strong trend signifies by 3 positions. So the third position was then followed up with that, and by doing so, what I had actually done the day before was I set up this yellow line. So I said, hey, it looks like we could potentially be forming a new level of support line for a more further extended symmetrical triangle pattern. This is where things get really interesting, because now when you take a look at this, for the threshold securities list, it's been discussed about like, oh, you know, the deadline looks like it's going to be around the July 7th period. So this lines up really well with that, the July 7th, July 8th period for the first symmetrical triangle pattern. So it looks like it is still on the threshold securities list as far as I can tell with everything. If that got updated after the time of this video, let me know in the comments. Let everybody else know in the comments, guys, down below. But as far as I can tell, everything's still set up with that. And so now that actually looks like it's going over to July 15th, which again is very interesting because the new symmetrical triangle pattern, which is formed, looks like it's around July 15th, July 16th. So it matches up really well when we should be seeing some kind of key decisive move. But it gets even more just juicy, because on July 2nd, the bottom level of this wick actually was the formation of that bottom level support line, the yellow line. Then what we had was 2 days later, a bounce off of that. So it tested that level of resistance and got rejected and came down. Okay, and then the following day, which is today, same thing happened. This thing started off on the negative when the market opened up, guys. It started off negative, meaning that it was down here and it actually dropped even further down. It went all the way down for a low. It hit down to $38.76, bounced up, went all the way almost to $50. Right there at $49.79, and that's right on that Fibonacci sequence of 0.382 as well. So we see those convergence between that level of support line for the symmetrical triangle pattern here, as well as with the Fibonacci sequence. So you got 2 different indicators suggesting. So things crossing over like that strengthens that idea even more, right? And trends that are identified with this are based on psychological elements. So look at this. The fact that we closed out in the green is absolutely amazing. Do be a little bit concerned though, because we are leading into a Friday and there are options contracts that are going to be expiring, and these groups might be trying to do some more manipulative based tactics before those expire to try and get them to expire out of the money. What we want to see happen realistically is everything closing out in the money. The more options that close out in the money, the higher the probability there is for a gamma squeeze. So right now, we've actually got 24,295 calls that are in the money that are going to be expiring for tomorrow. You want to keep an eye on this and see how that's going to continue to progress forward. If this can actually move tomorrow back within the symmetrical triangle pattern, then we've got a further extension deadline going into next week for that July 15th, July 16th type period. And I think you guys should definitely keep an eye out for that, because the opportunity, if it does manage to break through all of that with them getting margin called on things, with the momentum and the hype and everything else, people have been watching this go sideways for a while. People have been seeing the volume just being absolutely stale. We've even been seeing this inside of crypto. Everything's been basically stale. Like, you go one way for so long and then you get the opposite action, right? So like for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So when there's long periods of low volume, you're going to have these other periods where there is now high volume. So we could actually break up above and push near that $100 mark, guys. And I think that is very realistic to say. The higher that this goes up, the more likely we are to see other margin calls take place. And lo and behold, that's where you start to get gamma squeezes and short squeezes, because they have to close out their positions. They have to buy back these shares. So this alone is absolutely thrilling. It's exciting to me. It gets me pumped up. I'm really, really pumped for this, guys. And I mean, honestly, again, if you want to share this video with other people, I think there are people that are missing these simple little facts, and they're kind of being overshadowed with the things in the news and stuff. Just those simple fundamentals alone is suggesting we have a huge upside potential, and what kind of things that we should be looking at from what they're going to be trying to fight against. So like, for example, tomorrow, there might be another level of resistance once again right around that $50 range, okay? So if we push up to around $50.10 or so and you see it getting rejected, it's largely in part because it's a psychological level. It has to do with that Fibonacci sequence, and it's also that level of support line. If we can close above that, then I think next week we're starting off on a really good note. Okay, I wouldn't even be surprised if after hours it started really pushing hard too. So other things to keep in mind: 1.8 million shares available to borrow, and for the ETF shares available to borrow, it's about 2.5 million. So this number's actually gone down a bit. And you know what? I forgot to pull this up. So let me go ahead and pull this up now for you guys. This is on the dark pool. And we're seeing this number continue to go down. This position is below 300 million now. It is progressively going down. Keep in mind, it was over 550 million shares on the dark pool for their position as of about a week ago. So now we're seeing that substantially dropping. There's less and less activity that's going on there. There's new crackdowns and regulations of things that are going on, and more likely to have things just stopping them from being able to do all these shenanigans. One thing that's really cool too, I'm going to go ahead and highlight this. This is from benzinga.com. We're going to talk just a little bit about this, and I'll have a link in the description for you guys. So their title of the article is AMC Tricks Shorts, Options Traders Join the Game. Are you wondering if Tesla will hit $900? And then it talks, well, okay, let's just go and skip that part. Sorry about that. AMC Entertainment Holdings Incorporated gapped down 9% Thursday morning, but bulls rushed in and bought the dip. By Thursday afternoon, AMC rallied from the $39.40 area and tested a resistance level at the $48 mark. The stock had been trading sideways in a tightening range since reaching a June 2nd high of $72.62 before breaking down bearishly on Wednesday. In the pre-market Thursday morning, Jim Cramer took to Twitter to call on the Securities and Exchange Commission to stop the games he says are happening within a number of Reddit's favorite stocks. It's not clear who Cramer believes is playing games with AMC and other similar stocks, such as GameStop Corporation, and despite trying to gain the social media friendship of the apes, his comments have typically created more backlash. Yeah, so like when he makes their remarks like that, it doesn't really make it very clear what side that he's on, right, guys? And for me, some of the recent things that he said over on Twitter and stuff, he's painting himself out to be kind of the bad guy of this situation. And I think he's even acknowledged it, if I remember correctly. So him telling the SEC to stop the games makes it sound like as if he's trying to tell them to stop all of like Wall Street bets and all the regular retail investors and the YouTubers that are doing. That's what it kind of feels like. It feels like he's going against the grain and against all of us. But you guys let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree with that. On Thursday, institutions continued to join in on the fun and purchased over $3.08 million shares. $3.08 million worth of bullish AMC call contracts. Institutions have been hammering options contracts for weeks on the stock and don't look to be letting up anytime soon. One institution chose a strike price of $100 and an expiry of July 16th, so that is 1 week from tomorrow. indicating they believe another big move is in the very near future. Why it's important: when a sweep order occurs, indicates the traders wanted to get into a position quickly and is anticipating an imminent large move in stock price. A sweeper pays market price for the call or put option instead of placing a bid, which sweeps the order book of multiple exchanges to fill the order immediately. These types of call option orders are usually made by institutions, and retail investors can find watching for sweepers useful because it indicates smart money has entered into a position. And just look at all of these alerts that have been identified here, and apparently you can see all these things through their Bazinga Pro. So right around noon, there was 341 AMC entertainment options with a strike price of $46 expiring on July 9th. Now keep in mind, please, that each of these contracts, these options, represents 100 shares. So this is 341 times 100. So that's actually 34,100 shares of AMC during this position right here. The trade represented a $77,407 bullish bet for which the trader paid $2.27 per option contract. Again, it just goes on and on and on and on. So you guys can see this massive list that was really pushing through, leading all the way up, even to the after hours. Well, this is I don't know. This is probably Eastern time. Now that I think about it, I was looking at these times, thinking about my Pacific Standard Time. I live over in the West Coast. So yeah, guys, this is absolutely really bullish news. And if the major institutions are saying like, hey, we really want to be a part of this now, they're the ones that have the big money. That's the smart money. And they're the ones that can help really start to push this momentum a lot harder. One of the things that we've been noticing is that on the daily, the inflow and the outflow, there's more inflow than there is outflow for transactional trades. However, there's been a higher side pushing on for the large trades on the outflow. And so that means is that there's, for a big order sale, there's more of those transactions that took place than there were big order buys going on. And so these institutions coming in saying like, hey, we're going to be buying too. Well, now, even though we had the small and the medium side working on our favor for buys, the little guy just keeps buying the dip, man. We just keep holding on. We're like ape strong, you know, we're doing this thing. So these institutions are seeing we're not giving up. We're seeing the threshold securities list holding up. We're seeing the deadlines coming up. We know that margin calls are going to be happening. We're seeing other companies starting to crack down, saying like, you know, you guys, we're not lending out any more money, and like, you need to pay back what you owe us real soon. That, you know what I mean? The time is ticking down, guys. The highest probability of this happening is now coming closer and closer to fruition. So it's an exciting time. It's not financial advice. It's not a guarantee. You know, #1 golden rule of investing: never invest more than what you're willing to lose. And with that being said, I'm going to go and wrap up the video there. I got referral links in the description. If you guys are new to the channel, feel free to check those out, or if you're old even. So they're free cryptocurrency, free stocks. It's free money for you guys. They're referral links. And let us know in the comments how you guys feel about everything we talked about today. If you're new, feel free to subscribe, hit the thumbs up like button, and share the video. Thank you guys, and I will see you in the next episode.